You can refinance a rate later. You can't refinance the price that you missed, though. Inflation is cooling, and that's good news. Prices are still higher than anybody likes, but they're not rising as fast as they were. Even housing costs, which are usually the biggest inflation problem, have finally started to calm down. And that's a big deal because housing inflation is one of the last things the Fed needs to see cool off. Now, at the same time, the job market is losing steam. I mean, we're not in a crisis by any means, but things are clearly slowing down. Unemployment has crept up, and a lot of the new jobs being added are part-time instead of full-time. That tells us that people are still working, but employers are being more cautious. So now the Fed is stuck somewhere in the middle. Inflation isn't fully back to normal yet, but the job market is cooling enough that they can't just ignore it. That's why they recently cut rates and why the future cuts are still on the table, but not guaranteed, of course, per Jerome Powell. Now, here's the part most people get wrong. Mortgage rates don't move just because the Fed cuts rates. They move because of how investors feel about inflation and the economy. That's why rates haven't fallen in a straight line, even with the positive news. Now, let's talk about housing. Home sales are slowly improving, but inventory dropped again as we head into the holidays. Now, fewer homes for sale, plus slightly better buyer demand, means competition is still there in a way. And builders are feeling a little better, but buyers are still cautious because affordability still matters to them, obviously. Now, here's the bottom line, you guys. Today's housing market rewards people who have a plan, not people just waiting for magic news headlines about rates. If rates improve, great. You can refinance later. If home prices rise while you wait, that opportunity is gone forever. That's why strategy matters more than timing right now. If you want help figuring out what makes sense for you, that's what I do. So hit me up and we'll make a plan together.